Social scientist is a term that I heard recently. A guy was getting interviewed on impact theory, or I think it was health theory actually, but in any case, he was talking about doing research for on dementia and Alzheimer's because his mother was suffering from some memory loss, and how much things have changed with the internet and our ability to share and acquire and find information. Hey, hi, by the way, I'm Angel. Thanks for stopping by my channel where I aspire to inspire you to always be reaching for your greatest self, playfully. I just coming home from the dentist, who's one of my favorite people, believe it or not, because I've been going to the same dentist like more than 30 years, I think, around 30, maybe not quite, around 25 years, and I go to him because he's the most non-invasive dentist I've ever been to. I've been to a few other dentists, and they always want to drill, and this guy is of Chinese origin, and I don't know if that's why, but it seems like a cultural thing where he's just much more into listening to the body and thinking holistically and not drilling unnecessarily. So, for example, I have a little tiny cavity back here in between two teeth. I had to have a tooth removed. We have some bone implant. It's a backstory. Any case, a little cavity that another dentist would certainly have drilled, especially when I brought it up. But he was like, no, it's just a stain, and I wouldn't want to drill into the enamel around that even more. So, we might polish it down just a little before you get an implant, but beyond that, I wouldn't worry about it. So, and what had me sparked all this thinking about it was that then we got into this conversation about hypothyroid and hashimotos thyroiditis, which is something I got diagnosed with like 17 or so, 15, 17 years ago in my early 30s. And I was diagnosed with autoimmune disorders when I was, before I was 12. I had chronic urticaria, which is hives almost all over my body, almost every day for like 12 years that no one could explain. And then I had rheumatoid arthritis, severe joint pain, just general brain fog, over emotionality, hormone fluctuations, and was diagnosed with autoimmune disorder, general kind of unexplained, just, your body attacks itself. You're one of the unlucky ones, so you'll probably die young and suffer a lot. That's basically the diagnosis I got when I was in the 10 to 14 range of my life. And needless to say, it was it's been a lifelong endeavor to deal with that, to manage my own health. And my dentist just got diagnosed with a thyroid disorder, and so he was mentioning that, and I mentioned that I had quite a bit of experience in that. Well, actually, we got on the topic because he mentioned something about calcium for my teeth, and I said I actually don't do much dairy, and especially not milk. I do some spinach, but not a lot of spinach because I have to be careful of it because of my thyroid. So it led us into this whole conversation. And then his secretary got super curious because she also is dealing with thyroid issues, which is actually one of the more prevalent issues. Diabetes, arthritis, thyroiditis, all the itises, which is just general inflammation, which in my opinion is caused by damaged gut lining, then food getting through the lining, inappropriate things getting through the lining, causing basically sensitivities and reactions on a systemic level. Seems to be pretty cut and dry, although also complicated and complex because not everybody's the same. We vary day to day. Our hormones play a role in that. Stress plays a role in that. All those things are interrelated. So back to my original point, however. So they were very interested, and I shared all I could in a short period of time about what I've learned, and I'm happy to share with you, and I would love for you to share with me. And that's back to my opening statement, which is we live in a time where any of us can be a social scientist, and some doctors are still very much frowning on the idea that we would do research ourselves because they want that, sometimes it's ego, sometimes it's very much from a good place where they want to minimize mistakes, they want to minimize people being misinformed. I've had doctors flat out tell me people don't want to follow diet and exercise. I can't trust them to, so that's why it doesn't work, even when I insisted that that is what's working for me. And so anyway, I just wanted to talk a little about what I think is a new paradigm, a new thing right now, which is with the internet, we can all be social scientists. And as this young man that I was listening to in this talk, which I started with mentioning, was saying, just because the information is out there doesn't mean that you can't be misinformed, doesn't mean that just, looking for anecdotal information is going to give you everything you need. However, you can get access to studies. You can synergize information. You can put together anecdotal information and scientific study, blind study information. You can really start to access a lot of information yourself and become your own scientist on a subject if it's something important to you, like a disease that you're living with, which in my case is why I've spent, the last 20 plus years learning about natural healing through diet and exercise and managing my own health through, day by day through healthy, happy living. I'm happy to talk more about that. I've written a little about it. I'll be writing more about it. I'd love to hear what your questions and comments are. If you have any experience with autoimmune disorders, with health, and gaining more of a handle on your own health through diet and exercise or through pharmaceuticals. I'd love to know any of that. Please share that information in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. And until next time, peace, prosperity, health, happiness, prosperity, possibilities, and playfulness.